The Swahili Golden Age was a pivotal moment in human history where African, Arab, and Asian cultures converged to create a vibrant tapestry of trade, innovation, and artistic expression. This era saw the rise of majestic city-states like Kilwa and Zanzibar, which became crossroads of commerce and knowledge. As we embark on this journey through the Swahili Golden Age, get ready to uncover the secrets of a forgotten world that shaped the course of human civilization forever. In the distant past, where the sun dips into the horizon and paints the sky with hues of crimson and gold, the eastern coast of Africa stretches along the Indian Ocean, a land of untold riches and unrelenting beauty. It is here, in this fertile crescent, that the seeds of the Swahili Golden Age were sown, nurtured by the confluence of African, Arab, and Asian cultures. The earliest written records of this era come from Arabic and Persian sources, which speak of a land called Azania, a place of abundant resources and untapped potential. The Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, a Greek navigation guide from the 1st century AD, provides valuable insights into the maritime trade networks that connected the Mediterranean with the Indian Ocean, highlighting the strategic importance of the Swahili coast. As we delve deeper into this world, we find that the city-states of the Swahili coast, such as Mombasa, Malindi, and Kilwa, were not mere outposts of foreign powers, but rather vibrant centers of commerce, learning, and cultural exchange. The geography of the region played a significant role in shaping the course of history. The coastal plains, with their fertile soil and abundant rainfall, supported a rich agricultural economy, while the offshore islands, such as Zanzibar and Pemba, provided safe anchorage for ships and a bounty of marine resources. The monsoon winds, which blew from the northeast during the winter months and from the southwest during the summer, facilitated trade and communication between the Swahili coast and the wider Indian Ocean world. As the 8th century gave way to the 9th, the Swahili coast began to take on a distinct cultural identity, one that was shaped by the interactions of local Bantu-speaking populations with Arab, Persian, and Indian traders and settlers. The introduction of Islam, which arrived on the coast in the 8th century, had a profound impact on the development of Swahili society, as it brought with it new ideas, technologies, and artistic influences. The mosques, madrasas, and palaces that began to dot the landscape were testaments to the growing wealth and sophistication of the Swahili city-states. One of the key figures of this era was Abu al-Mahassini, a 9th century Arab trader who wrote extensively about the wonders of the Swahili coast. His accounts of the region's rich natural resources, including ivory, gold, and precious stones, helped to fuel the growth of trade and commerce in the area. As we follow the trail blazed by Abu al-Mahassini and other early travelers, we find ourselves drawn into a world of breathtaking beauty and complexity, where African, Arab, and Asian cultures blended together in a rich tapestry of sound, color, and texture. The city-state of Kilwa, which would eventually become one of the most powerful and influential centers of the Swahili Golden Age, was already beginning to assert its dominance in the 9th century. Its strategic location on a small island off the coast of present-day Tanzania allowed it to control the flow of trade between the African interior and the Indian Ocean. The rulers of Kilwa, who claimed descent from Arab and Persian nobles, oversaw a thriving economy that was based on the export of ivory, gold, and other precious commodities. As Kilwa's power grew, its rulers began to invest heavily in the development of their city-state, constructing grand mosques, palaces, and fortifications that would become hallmarks of Swahili architecture. The Great Mosque of Kilwa, built in the 10th century, is a testament to the sophistication and wealth of the city's rulers, featuring intricate stone carvings, ornate mihrabs, and a unique blend of African, Arab, and Persian architectural styles. The mosque's design, with its tall minarets and large prayer halls, was influenced by the great mosques of Baghdad and Cairo, reflecting the strong cultural ties between Kilwa and the wider Islamic world. The 10th century also saw the rise of other powerful city-states along the Swahili coast, including Mombasa and Malindi. These cities became major centers of trade and commerce, attracting merchants and travelers from all over the Indian Ocean world. The Periplus of the Erythraean Sea mentions the city of Mombasa as a key stopover for ships traveling between the Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean, highlighting its strategic importance in the regional trade network. Malindi, meanwhile, became famous for its beautiful beaches, abundant fisheries, and skilled craftsmen who produced exquisite wood carvings, textiles, and metalwork that were highly prized by traders and collectors. One of the most significant events of this period was the visit of the Chinese Admiral Zheng He to the Swahili Coast in the early 15th century. Zheng He's fleet, which included over 300 ships and thousands of sailors, arrived in Kilwa and other Swahili cities, bringing with them exotic goods, technologies, and ideas from the Far East. The Chinese visitors were impressed by the wealth and sophistication of the Swahili city-states, and they established trade relations that would last for centuries. The exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures between China and the Swahili Coast had a profound impact on the development of the region, introducing new technologies such as the compass and the astrolabe, which facilitated navigation and exploration. The growth of trade and commerce along the Swahili Coast also led to an increase in the production of local goods, including textiles, ceramics, and metalwork. The city-state of Kilwa became famous for its beautiful cotton fabrics, which were highly prized by traders and collectors throughout the Indian Ocean world. The production of these fabrics involved the complex process of spinning, dyeing, and weaving, which was carried out by skilled artisans who had learned their craft from generations of textile producers. The resulting fabrics were not only beautiful, but also extremely durable, making them highly sought after by merchants and traders who needed clothing and textiles that could withstand the rigors of long-distance travel. As the Swahili city-states continued to grow and prosper, they began to develop a distinct cultural identity that reflected their unique blend of African, Arab, and Asian influences. The development of the Swahili language, which emerged as a lingua franca along the coast, is a testament to the region's cultural diversity and creativity. Swahili, which is still spoken today by millions of people in East Africa, is a Bantu language that has been influenced by Arabic, Persian, and other languages spoken by traders and travelers who visited the coast over the centuries. The language's unique grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation reflect the complex cultural history of the region, and its use as a lingua franca facilitated communication and trade between people from different backgrounds and cultures. The cultural achievements of the Swahili city-states were not limited to language and textiles. They also made significant contributions to the development of Islamic scholarship and learning in the region. The city-state of Kilwa, in particular, became a major center of Islamic learning, attracting scholars and students from all over the Indian Ocean world. The Great Mosque of Kilwa, which was built during this period, features intricate stone carvings and ornate mihrabs that reflect the sophisticated artistic and architectural traditions of the Swahili city-states. The mosque's design, which combines elements of African, Arab, and Persian architecture, is a testament to the cultural creativity and diversity of the region, and its construction reflects the strong commitment of the Swahili rulers to the development of Islamic scholarship and learning. As the Swahili city-states continued to flourish, their scholars and intellectuals played a significant role in the development of Islamic thought and learning in the region. One notable example is the work of Abdullah ibn Asad, a 14th-century scholar from Kilwa, who wrote extensively on Islamic jurisprudence and theology. His writings, which were widely read and respected throughout the Indian Ocean world, demonstrate the high level of intellectual sophistication and scholarly achievement that existed in the Swahili city-states during this period. The city-state of Kilwa, in particular, became a major center of learning and intellectual inquiry, attracting scholars and students from as far away as Egypt, Arabia, and Persia. The Great Mosque of Kilwa, which was built during this period, features an impressive library and scriptorium where scholars could study and copy important Islamic texts. The 15th century saw the rise of another powerful city-state along the Swahili coast, Zanzibar. Located on a strategic island off the coast of present-day Tanzania, Zanzibar became a major center of trade and commerce, attracting merchants and traders from all over the Indian Ocean world. The city's rulers, who were known for their wealth and sophistication, established strong trade relations with the Portuguese, who had begun to explore and establish trading posts along the East African coast. Upon his return to Zanzibar, Ibn Hassan wrote extensively on these subjects, incorporating European knowledge into the Islamic intellectual tradition. His writings demonstrate the high level of cultural exchange and intellectual curiosity that existed between the Swahili city-states and the wider world during this period. As the 16th century progressed, the Swahili city-states continued to thrive, with trade and commerce driving their economic growth. The city-state of Mombasa, which had long been an important center of trade, became a major hub for the export of ivory, slaves, and other valuable commodities to markets in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. The city's rulers, who were known for their wealth and power, established strong alliances with European traders and explorers, including the Portuguese, who had established a series of trading posts and fortresses along the East African coast. Despite the challenges posed by European colonization, the Swahili city-states continued to maintain their cultural identity and intellectual traditions. The development of Swahili literature, which flourished during this period, provides a testament to the region's rich cultural heritage. As the 16th century progressed, the Swahili city-states continued to navigate the complex web of trade relationships with European powers, including the Portuguese, who had established a strong presence along the East African coast. The construction of the fort marked a significant shift in the balance of power between the Swahili city-states and European colonizers, as it provided the Portuguese with a strategic military outpost from which to exert their influence over the region. Despite the growing European presence, the Swahili city-states continued to maintain their cultural identity and intellectual traditions. The development of Swahili literature, for example, flourished during this period, with works such as the Utendi wa Tumbuka influencing the literary landscape of the region. The poem's use of intricate metaphors, complex rhyme schemes, and nuanced exploration of Islamic themes reflects the rich cultural heritage of the Swahili people and their deep engagement with Islamic intellectual traditions. The 17th century saw the rise of the Omani Empire, which would eventually come to dominate the Swahili coast and play a significant role in shaping the region's history. In 1650, the Omanis captured the Portuguese fortification of Fort Jesus, marking a major turning point in the struggle for control of the East African coast. The Omanis, who were Sunni Muslims, brought with them a distinct cultural and intellectual tradition that would eventually blend with the existing Swahili culture to create a unique and vibrant cultural landscape. The Omani Empire's expansion into East Africa was driven by a desire to spread Islam and to establish trade relationships with the local populations. One notable figure of this period is Sultan bin Saif, who ruled Oman from 1649 to 1668 and played a key role in establishing Omani control over the Swahili coast. Sultan bin Saif was a skilled military leader and a shrewd diplomat who navigated the complex web of alliances and rivalries between the various Swahili city-states and European powers. Under his leadership, the Omanis established a series of trade agreements with the Swahili city-states, which helped to consolidate their control over the region and pave the way for the growth of a thriving commercial economy. As Omani influence expanded along the Swahili coast, the city-state of Zanzibar emerged as a major center of trade and commerce. The island's strategic location, fertile soil, and abundant natural resources made it an attractive destination for merchants and traders from all over the Indian Ocean world. The city's rulers, who were known for their wealth and sophistication, established strong trade relationships with the Omanis and other European powers, including the French and the British. These relationships helped to fuel the growth of a thriving economy, which was driven by the export of valuable commodities such as ivory, slaves, and spices. The 18th century saw the rise of the Zanzibari Empire, which would eventually become one of the most powerful and influential empires in East African history. Under the leadership of Sultan Bargash bin Said, who ruled from 1870 to 1888, Zanzibar emerged as a major center of Islamic learning and culture, attracting scholars and intellectuals from all over the Indian Ocean world. The Sultan's court was renowned for its sophistication and elegance, with poets, musicians, and artists vying for patronage and recognition. The city's architecture, which reflected a unique blend of Swahili, Omani, and European influences, became a testament to the cultural creativity and diversity of the Zanzibari Empire. As the Zanzibari Empire expanded its influence along the Swahili coast, it encountered resistance from other Swahili city-states, including Mombasa and Pemba. These city-states, which had long maintained their independence and autonomy, were wary of Zanzibari expansionism and sought to maintain their own distinct cultural and intellectual traditions. The resulting tensions and conflicts would eventually contribute to the decline of the Swahili city-states and the rise of European colonial powers in the region. Despite these challenges, the Swahili city-states continued to thrive, driven by a vibrant economy and a rich cultural heritage. The development of Swahili literature, for example, continued to flourish, with works such as the Hamzia poem reflecting the complex social, cultural, and intellectual landscape of the region. The 19th century saw the rise of European colonial powers, including the British, French, and Germans, who began to exert their influence over the Swahili coast. The scramble for Africa, as it came to be known, marked a significant turning point in the history of the region, as European powers competed with each other to establish colonies and spheres of influence. The Swahili city-states, which had long maintained their independence and autonomy, were eventually absorbed into these colonial empires, marking the end of an era of Swahili dominance along the East African coast. As the colonial era came to a close, the Swahili people began to reassert their independence and autonomy. The development of nationalist movements, which sought to promote Swahili culture and identity, marked a significant turning point in the history of the region. These movements, which were driven by a desire for self-determination and cultural preservation, helped to pave the way for the eventual independence of countries such as Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. As the colonial era came to a close, the Swahili people began to reassert their independence and autonomy, with Tanzania gaining its independence from British rule in 1964. The country's first president, Julius Nyerere, played a significant role in promoting Swahili culture and identity, declaring Swahili as the official language of Tanzania. This move helped to unify the country and promote a sense of national identity among the Swahili people. In Kenya, which had also gained independence from British rule in 1963, the Swahili community continued to thrive, particularly in the coastal cities of Mombasa and Lamu. The Kenyan government established the Institute of Swahili Research at the University of Nairobi, which became a center for the study and promotion of Swahili language and culture. The institute's work helped to standardize the Swahili language and develop new educational materials which were used in schools throughout the region. In the 1970s and 1980s, the Swahili Coast experienced a period of economic growth driven by tourism and trade. The city of Zanzibar, which had been a major center of commerce during the Golden Age, underwent significant redevelopment with the restoration of historic buildings and the construction of new hotels and infrastructure. The Zanzibar International Film Festival, established in 1997, became an annual event showcasing Swahili films and attracting visitors from around the world. Despite these developments, the Swahili Coast also faced significant challenges, including poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation. In the 1990s, the region was affected by a series of devastating floods, which damaged crops and infrastructure and highlighted the need for sustainable development and climate resilience. In response, organizations such as the World Bank and the African Development Bank launched initiatives to support economic development and environmental conservation in the region. In recent years, the Swahili Coast has continued to evolve with the growth of new industries such as fishing and aquaculture. The city of Mombasa has become a major hub for trade and commerce, with the port of Mombasa serving as a key gateway for goods destined for East Africa. The Swahili people have also maintained their rich cultural heritage, with traditional music, dance, and art continuing to thrive. The annual Lamu Cultural Festival, which showcases Swahili culture and traditions, has become a popular event, attracting visitors from around the world. Today, the legacy of the Swahili Golden Age can be seen in the many historic sites and monuments that dot the coast, including the ancient city of Kilwa Kisiwani, which was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1981. The site's ruins, which include the Great Mosque and the Husuni Kubwa Palace, are a testament to the wealth and sophistication of Swahili civilization during its golden age. As the Swahili people continue to build on their rich cultural heritage, they remain proud of their history and their contributions to the development of East Africa and the world beyond. The cultural, economic, and intellectual achievements of the Swahili people have reverberated across centuries, shaping the course of global trade, urbanization, and cultural exchange. Their legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the boundless potential that arises when human creativity, resilience, and determination converge. As the waves of time continue to lap against the shores of the Indian Ocean, the Swahili Golden Age remains an enduring testament to the transformative power of human ingenuity and the unbreakable bonds that connect us all. Thank you for joining me throughout this historical journey. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.